The fluorescent lights of St. Mary's emergency room cast a harsh glow across the waiting area as Emma clutched her purse tightly against her chest. Her cheeks burned with embarrassment, and she kept her eyes fixed on the scuffed linoleum floor. The steady hum of medical equipment and distant conversations filled the air around her, but all she could focus on was the uncomfortable burning sensation that had brought her here in the first place. Emma had always been the quiet one. At 24, she worked as a librarian at the local branch, spending her days surrounded by books and whispered conversations. She preferred the company of fictional characters to real people most days. Social situations made her palms sweat and her voice catch in her throat. The idea of discussing something so personal and embarrassing with a complete stranger felt overwhelming. She had waited 3 days, hoping the problem would resolve itself. The burning, the constant need to use the bathroom, the general discomfort, she had convinced herself it would pass. But when she woke up that morning feeling worse than ever, her roommate Sarah had practically forced her into the car and driven her to the hospital. Emma Rodriguez. A nurse called from behind the reception desk. Emma's heart jumped, and she slowly raised her hand. Room 7, honey. The doctor will be right with you. The examination room was small and sterile, painted in pale green with motivational posters about handwashing and flu prevention. Emma perched on the edge of the examination table, the paper crinkling beneath her. She practiced what she would say in her head, trying to find the least embarrassing way to explain her symptoms. Her hands twisted the hem of her sweater nervously. A gentle knock interrupted her rehearsal. Ms. Rodriguez, may I come in? The voice was warm and professional. Emma cleared her throat softly. Yes, come in. The door opened to reveal a tall man in his early 30s wearing a white coat over dark blue scrubs. His name tag read, Drive. James Mitchell, Emergency Medicine. He had kind brown eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses and an easy smile that immediately put Emma slightly more at ease. His dark hair was neatly styled, and there was something about his presence that seemed both professional and genuinely caring. I'm Drive. Mitchell, he said, settling into the chair across from her. He held a tablet and pen, ready to take notes. What brings you in today, Emma? May I call you Emma? She nodded, still unable to meet his eyes directly. Yes, that's fine. Her voice came out as barely more than a whisper. Doctor. Mitchell leaned forward slightly, his expression patient and encouraging. Take your time. I know it can be difficult to talk about health concerns, especially when they're uncomfortable. I'm here to help, and everything you tell me is completely confidential. Emma took a deep breath, focusing on a spot just over his left shoulder. I think I might have a urinary tract infection. I've been having burning when I go to the bathroom, and I feel like I need to go constantly, even when I don't really need to. The words tumbled out in a rush, her cheeks flaming red. Those are very common symptoms, Drive. Mitchell said matter-of-factly, making notes on his tablet. UTIs are incredibly common, especially in young women. There's absolutely nothing to be embarrassed about. You did the right thing by coming in. His tone was so casual and reassuring that Emma felt some of the tension leave her shoulders. Really? She asked, finally glancing at his face. Really, he confirmed with a warm smile. I probably see 3 or 4 UTIs every shift. They're easily treatable with antibiotics. How long have you been experiencing these symptoms? As Dr. Mitchell asked his questions, Emma found herself relaxing more and more. He never made her feel rushed or embarrassed. He explained each step of the examination process before doing it, asked permission before any physical contact, and maintained a professional but kind demeanor throughout. When he stepped out to allow her to provide a urine sample, he handed her the collection cup with clear, simple instructions and absolutely no judgment. While she waited for him to return with the results, Emma found herself thinking about how different this experience had been from what she had feared. She had imagined a cold, clinical interaction that would leave her feeling more embarrassed than when she arrived. Instead, Drive. Mitchell had made her feel heard and cared for. 20 minutes later, he returned with a slight smile on his face. As suspected, you do have a urinary tract infection. The good news is that it's straightforward to treat. I'm going to prescribe you a course of antibiotics that should clear it up within a few days. Emma nodded, relief washing over her. Thank you so much. I was so worried it might be something serious. Completely understandable, Drive. Mitchell said, typing on his tablet. The symptoms can be quite uncomfortable and concerning if you've never experienced them before. I want you to take the full course of antibiotics, even if you start feeling better after a day or two. And make sure to drink plenty of water. As he explained the medication and care instructions, Emma noticed how thorough and patient he was. He repeated important information, asked if she had any questions, and even wrote down key points on a piece of paper for her to take home. There was something almost old-fashioned about his bedside manner, a genuine care that seemed to go beyond what was strictly required. "Is there anything else I can help you with today, Doctor?" Mitchell asked, setting down his tablet. Emma shook her head, then hesitated. "Dr. Mitchell, thank you for being so kind. I was really nervous about coming in, and you made this so much easier than I expected." Something in his expression shifted slightly, becoming warmer. "That's very kind of you to say, Emma. I have to admit, I don't often get feedback like that. Most people are in and out so quickly in the ER." "Well, you're really good at what you do," she said, surprising herself with her boldness. Dr. Mitchell paused in his note-taking, looking at her directly. "You know, I was just thinking the same thing about you." Emma blinked in confusion. "About me? But I'm just a patient. You're a person who recognized when something was wrong with your body and took action to address it, even though it was uncomfortable and embarrassing. That takes courage." He seemed to consider his next words carefully. "And you've been incredibly gracious and patient during what I know was an awkward situation. Not everyone handles medical visits with such grace." Emma felt warmth spread through her chest at his words. She had never thought of herself as courageous or graceful. "I work at the library downtown," she found herself saying. "I spend most of my time around books, so talking to people isn't exactly my strong suit." "The main library on 5th Street?" Dr. Mitchell asked, his eyes lighting up with interest. "That's the one. I love that place. I try to stop by whenever I have time off. There's something peaceful about it. Very different from here," he said, gesturing around the busy emergency room visible through the door. They talked for a few more minutes about books and the library, and Emma was amazed at how easy it was to converse with him. He had read many of her favorite novels and shared her appreciation for quiet spaces and thoughtful conversation. She completely forgot that she was sitting in a hospital gown in an examination room. "I should let you get dressed and get on with your day, drive," Mitchell finally said, glancing at his watch. "But Emma, if you don't mind me saying so, I hope you won't let being shy hold you back from seeking medical care in the future. You deserve to feel comfortable and confident in taking care of yourself." As he prepared to leave, Emma found herself speaking before she could lose her nerve. "Dr. Mitchell, would it be inappropriate if I asked you a question that's not medical?" He turned back, eyebrows raised with curiosity but not displeasure. "What's your question? Do you ever have time to actually visit the library? Or do you just pass by and wish you could go in?" Dr. Mitchell's smile was answer enough before he even spoke. "I have Saturday afternoon off this week, actually. I was planning to stop by and find something new to read." "Well," Emma said, her heart beating fast but her voice steady, "if you'd like a recommendation, I'll be working the reference desk from noon to 5. I'd be happy to help you find something good." "I would like that very much, drive," Mitchell said softly. "I'll see you Saturday, Emma." As Emma walked out of the hospital 20 minutes later, prescription in hand, she realized that what had started as one of the most embarrassing experiences of her life had somehow transformed into something entirely unexpected. She had faced her fear, taken care of her health, and maybe, just maybe, made a connection with someone who saw past her shyness to something worth knowing. The afternoon sun felt warm on her face as she walked to her car, and for the first time in days, the discomfort in her body was overshadowed by a different kind of flutter entirely, the anticipation of Saturday afternoon at the library, where quiet conversations and shared love of books might lead to something beautiful.